Hey guys, Romie here. Please like, comment, subscribe if you're a first time viewer. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you very much. Please like and comment on my video for The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 7, Episode 13, Picking Sides. The episode actually starts off with Ziggy going to Dolores' house. Dolores is still getting her kitchen finished up, and she's actually working with Frank, you know, her ex. So he's not just paying for the whole thing and in charge of everything. She's paying for the granite top. But that's not the important factor. Ziggy is talking to Dolores about, she just feels very conflicted because on one side, she knows she's Jacqueline's friend, but she feels like Jacqueline is ghosting them. She feels like Jacqueline is ghosting them because she talks to Jacqueline normally every day, and ever since the event, the altercation with Jacqueline arguing with Teresa and Melissa, now Ziggy hasn't heard back from Jacqueline. So she's feeling like, oh no, maybe Jacqueline thinks that, you know, we weren't defending her on her side and all of that. And I'm thinking, if Jacqueline is thinking that, then she's absolutely bonkers, because it should be clear as day that you were there for her. And also, you just need to accept the fact that maybe she needed a moment to herself. We go to Melissa's work, her storefront, and of course Jackie, who is her investor, is there, and they're just talking general chit chat. And here's the thing, Jackie has a lot of stuff going on, but Jackie makes it be known, okay, our sales aren't doing so well. I'm like, damn, you just admitted that on TV? But no, it's the online internet sales. Basically, I think there was like a day or a couple of days where there was nothing, no activity. I'm just like, oh, okay, that's horrible. That's horrible. Because in their store, they're doing extremely well. Of course, Melissa's there. I'm sure she just brings in people automatically when she's just there. But aside from that, they also need to discuss the fact that her store manager, you know, the guy that supposedly tried to sell stories on Teresa, selling her cookbook and all of that. Yeah, so Melissa talks to him because it's just like, you know, my family's saying that this happened. No, Jacqueline's saying that you did this, you did that, or Kim D said that you did this. He's like, no, here's what happened. I ran a blog, and I talked a lot about The Real Housewives, including Teresa, and so I was just there. It sounded like he's more so a fan slash pseudo-journalist type, and there was nothing malicious behind it. Kim D possibly just trying to do her usual, you know, we're on the street. We're on the street. That's what she's known for. Now at Jacqueline's house, she's with Chris and she's with Ashley, and Ziggy and Dolores, they're there, but they keep ringing the doorbell because Jacqueline's so preoccupied with her family, she doesn't hear it. And because of that, Ziggy and Dolores, they start dancing in front. Well, I shouldn't call it dancing. They start doing lunges and squats in front of Jacqueline's, and it was fun. They were having a good time. But here's how that conversation went. Ziggy just wanted to be made very clear that she's on Jacqueline's side, but she feels like she can be friends with both people, so she's not going to go and ostracize herself and say, because I'm friends with Jacqueline, I can't go and do things with Melissa and Teresa. And Ziggy's just like, I don't understand this. This is not my world. This is not my realm. Dolores is like, yes. Ziggy is shell-shocked because she's not used to this barn of animals. She's not used to this basket of deplorables. She's not. And because she's not, it's just too much for her. Because Ziggy was saying how, you know, she was in her pajamas for 4 days because she was just so traumatized that people who were supposed to be friends and family acted this way. And my whole thing is, we can tell she's an emotional person slash she's a fixer. She's a fixer. She can't fix this. So that alone is very damaging to her psyche. But Jacqueline just said, no, I wasn't ghosting you on purpose. I just need a moment to get away from it all. And Dolores is like, yeah, this is something that started years ago, right here on this terrace, years ago on this patio, of that epic showdown between Teresa and Jacqueline, just saying how they felt about everything that's been going on, and then ever since it's never been the same. Jacqueline's saying no, they're not going to be friends. Ziggy is saying, I'm not going to go to the Posh fashion show or Melissa's fashion show, but I will go to Chris's popcorn launch party to support you guys. I'm thinking, Ziggy, that's not right. I can understand the Posh because that's Kim D, but really, Melissa? Melissa hasn't done anything to you. That's not right. And Jacqueline was even saying, you know, you don't have to do that. And I believe Jacqueline when she said that, you don't have to do that. Because logically, you really don't have to do things like that. Teresa had a moment with Joe, her brother, and it was nice because they never had this time. They're just talking about how things are going to be different once Teresa's husband goes away, but it's nice that they've reconnected because they used to be so close, used to be so chummy, best friends. So that's why it was very easy for the both of them to, you know, kind of go back into the groove once it was just like, okay, this major event happened, we have to come back together as a family. And I like the fact that they're going to try and spend more time with not try, but they will have like lunch and stuff with each other. Why did Siggy go to that coffee shop and give them a $100 bill, knowing that it was early in the morning, knowing they probably had to go and get someone in the back to go and get more bills. Anyway, Siggy's talking to Melissa. She wants Melissa to know that, you know, what happened there was crazy. It was a little interesting how Melissa wanted to... She answered the question, but there was some hesitation. And I'm telling you, Melissa didn't want any trouble. She was probably like, Jacqueline, why are you actually bringing this up? Are you really trying to start problems? Are you really trying to start problems? Forget right or wrong. Are you really trying to start problems? Siggy was just saying, you know, at first, because Siggy's a straight shooter. And I can't believe she said this originally. She was like, at first, I thought that you were kind of cold and unwelcoming, uninviting, and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, not everyone is an open book, just... But whatever. I guess she's used to that. Used to people being more so like, hey, and then later it's just like, oh, instead of, oh, and then hey. I'm thinking, but anyway. That's why I'm like, oh, poor Siggy. After she goes and says all of that, and she says, but once actually knowing you, my first assumption was absolutely incorrect and all that. And Melissa's like, yeah, that's right. But I can't go to Kim D's event or yours. So it's like, wait a minute, Jacqueline's telling... No, this is me. This is how I feel just personally because I don't think that I can be friends with you and be friends with Jacqueline. I'm thinking... She didn't say she can't be friends with Melissa. She said that she can't go and do something right after Jacqueline had the big blow up with them. And I'm thinking, this is Jacqueline's personal feelings. You can't go and... I didn't agree with it. Melissa was like, this is crazy. This is illogical. You still call me a friend, but you can't go and support me. We're going to go from there. Dolores talks with her mom, and this is where we see where Dolores gets her original mentality of, you know, the wife stays home and takes care of the kids, the husband does the work, and how she just realized she can't, because I believe Frank cheated on her or something like that, and so that's why she left. But because she didn't have a real formal education, things of that nature, she was with guys who felt like they could control the situation, and that stayed with her for years. So now she feels empowered, and her mom was saying the same thing, like, you know, I'm finally with someone, well, that she finally asked her husband about the finances and just took charge of things, and how she never regretted it. And they both came to that realization at the same time. So it's just like, oh, it's nice to hear when you're, someone's parent is still growing and, you know, evolving. Now we're at the posh fashion show, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, I'm like, this is a restaurant. Where's the fashion show? Oh, it's going to be in the restaurant? Okay. Okay, nothing wrong with it because the restaurant was huge. I was just surprised because I thought it was going to be a different type of venue. So that threw me off. I thought they were having dinner at first. Kim D waits for Jacqueline and Dolores to come, and then she decides she wants to go and talk about how, oh my gosh, because Kim D was filled in regarding what went on at Crystal Springs with the whole crew. And Kim D was just saying how, you know, if it were her, she will have left Joe. She will have left Joe immediately. Dolores is saying, you know, Teresa comes from that old school mentality. She's not going to leave her husband because of something like that. And Hiddu's just like, yeah, well, and you also heard that Joe was going and sleeping with every blonde and sometimes brunette that he could find while Teresa was in jail. And I'm thinking, this is why we didn't like Kim D on the show, because Kim D was kind of like one of those... Kim D on this show is like an internet troll. That's exactly what she is. In real life, can be a completely pleasant, beautiful person. But on this show, she comes off as like a troll, someone who constantly brings unnecessary. And it's sad because I appreciate the fact that Jacqueline and Dolores, both of them, they didn't entertain that. They just let Kim D say what she wanted to say, but they did not entertain that. So that's what led me to believe, you know what, maybe Jacqueline and Teresa can come together again eventually. Should they? No. Could they? Possibly. Teresa meets up again with Melissa, and Melissa, Dolores, Ziggy, and the whole conversation goes with Ziggy essentially saying, you know, after she had the conversation with Jacqueline, after she had the conversation with Melissa, she realized that she was wrong. She admits that she was wrong, that there was no reason for her to really take sides. And she will be going to Melissa's event. I'm thinking, oh, Ziggy, shout out to you for gracing Melissa with gracing Melissa with your presence. I know that's not what she was, that's not how she was coming off. I was just saying, oh, okay. Glad you saw the light. Like, and I guess Melissa's just like, okay, cool. Respect to that. Respect to that. Dolores made sure not to mention the fact that Kim D said what she said about Joe allegedly cheating. She just said, you know, Kim D was doing the usual Kim D. Is it Kim D or Kim G? Sometimes I get it messed up. Now we're at Jacqueline's, you know, popcorn launch party. It's either a launch party or just event. And the organization, what it actually does, every bag sold, a portion of the proceeds, this is Chris doing the speech, will go back to the autism charity that helped out Jacqueline and her husband. Because remember, Jacqueline and her husband were having financial issues when Nicholas was diagnosed with autism. So he spent a lot of time, effort, money, and as a result, things got hard. So this organization helped out a lot. And so, you know, while all this is going on, Jacqueline finds out, well, Jacqueline tells the group that Joe actually invited Chris and the whole family to go and just, you know, meet up. And it's his last little hurrah before he goes into jail. And so that's really nice to Joe to do that. So Jacqueline's saying, yeah, Joe should do that. He should, Chris should go and do that, be with Joe. And, you know, it's really the wives that always had the issues. The kids and the husbands were always good with each other. Ashley has an announcement. She's having a baby. She's having a baby. And so everyone's super excited. We see Ziggy's husband. She's there and everyone's just saying, oh, how much of a great guy he is. But out of all of that, another conversation ensues. Dolores tells Chris that, you know what, you shouldn't go to Joe's thing without your wife. You shouldn't go to Joe's party without your wife because she's going to be at home and she's going to be okay with it, you initially going, and then she's going to be hurt. You know how your wife is. And you know what? Originally I was like, you know what, Dolores, please stop because it's not the husband's fault. But on the other hand, I completely agree. I agree because Dolores is right. That's his wife. Regardless of his friendship with Joe, that supersedes his marriage and commitment to his wife. It is messed up that the wives are the reason why this is happening, but it is what it is. That's how it is sometimes. The last scene actually entailed Teresa and Dolores going. They were in church and they were just trading stories about, you know, how they both met their husbands / ex-husbands when they were young and they were with each other for a long time. The issue is that Dolores is just like, look, I respect you for staying with Joe because I know a lot of women who, especially nowadays, will have left as soon as possible. Teresa's just like, look, I understand if Joe ever actually cheated on me and I found that and believed it, I would be gone. I'm thinking, okay. And Teresa's just like, yeah, but and Dolores just like, yeah, I would have stayed with Frank if it was the financial issue, Because the main issue is Teresa signed off on a bunch of papers giving her consent to whatever Joe was doing. And so that's why she got wrapped up in it. We're not calling Teresa no genius mastermind for, trying to scam the system. That's not what we're trying to say. We're just saying that she wasn't diligent in protecting herself and her family, and really just being aware. And that was something that we always talked about, and so then this is what happened. So that was it. Please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already done so. Come back next week.